Welcome back, everyone. So, with maximum gold being about a month and a half away from us here in the TCG, I figured now would be a good time to make a video discussing the top 10 cards I want to see reprinted in the set. Now then, the order here isn't in any particular structure, so it doesn't go by monetary value or my bias or anything like that. It's just kind of 10 cards that I feel are a little pricey, that need to have some coolant on them. I need to become more accessible with a good reprint like this. With the exception being number 1. That is going to be completely biased, like warning you now. I won't be covering anything that is original to the set, if we get anything original to the set, and I won't really be covering things that we already know / were already touched on in the megatins for this year, which have, as of right now, had their entire set list leaked. So that means no Apollosa, no Pot of Extra, a few other odds and ends, no Dragoon, of course. But anyways, let's get into this, and I hope you enjoy. So, number 10, we have Madolche Hootcake, whose last reprint was in 2014 in that year's Megatins. So, Madolche Hootcake is a very important Madolche card, and not only that, like all the other Madolche cards before certain coolants were finally added, they've been just going up in price, and that hasn't really stopped, and especially now that we got an affordable Secret Rare and Jelly in Battles Legend Armageddon, Hootcake has also just gone up. It's just also an old print, so it's really inaccessible for a lot of people, and it feels like it deserves this coolant to be put on it. It'd look fine as a standard gold rare, just something to be put into the set, maybe reprint one or two of the other Madolches alongside it, but even if it was just the only Madolche card, I think a Madolche player would appreciate it. So, number 9, we have Aleister, the Invoker of Madness. This card has only had one printing, which was its debut in Shadows in Valhalla for us in the TCG. Now then, Aleister, the Invoker of Madness isn't the most important card in the Invoke strategy, however, it's a great option to have in the extra deck, and certain builds do religiously play this card as one of at the very least. It's now fetching a pretty high price given the age of Shadows in Valhalla, and it really needs a reprint, that way it can be a lot more accessible, especially to go in conjunction with the invoked reprints we recently got in Battles of Legend Armageddon. So I feel this card would actually look very good as a ultimate gold, or premium gold, I think is what they're calling it in the OCG, where it almost looks like an ultimate rare except it's gold. With that also being said, even if it got a reprint as a regular gold rare, I don't think the invoked players' wallets will complain too much about that. Number 8, Boral Sword Dragon. So, Boral Sword Dragon's last reprint was in the 2019 Megatins as an ultra rare. However, ever since that reprint, while it started off cheap, it has slowly but surely gone up in price, and it is now inaccessible and pretty pricey for what it is. A reprint here would make it accessible once again and cool off its price while not diminishing the values of the original printing secret rares. In addition to that, now that we have basically all of the good Link 4s, besides maybe Access Code Docker, become super accessible thanks to the 2020 Megatins, it feels appropriate that this guy become accessible as well. That way, it's super simple for anyone getting into the game to pick up any of the Link 4s that they need for their deck. Additionally, I think this would look gorgeous as a premium gold rare, because the accents on this guy as an ultimate rare look would just look so cool. And it would actually probably get a lot of people that have the ultra rare versions to want to upgrade. Then people would sell off their ultra rare versions, so there's even more in the market. Number 7, Ebon Illusion Magician. This card was originally a jump promo, then it was reprinted as a super rare in the Shining Victory Special Edition. However, need I remind you, that was quite a while ago. And I think I'm about to hit on a few notes I've hit on before in this video, but it's been a long time since that special edition, and with the recent buyouts of all the jump promos, the jump promo version is very inaccessible and at an extraordinarily high price for what is effectively just a few little gold letters and a jump tag on it. And the super rare version has slowly gone up, and it's just become really inaccessible. It's just one of those cards that you cannot find any copies of wherever you look unless you're willing to pay a stupid price. It's also a Dark Magician card, of course, and that has also contributed to its relative scarcity in recent months. So a reprint for this card works very well here in this slot right now. And additionally, because it's an Xyz monster, gold and black is an excellent color scheme, and I love how Xyz gold monsters look. Number 6, Infinite Impermanence. Honestly, does this card need an introduction at this point? It's such a staple card in this metagame. It gets around anti-hand trap cards like Called by the Grave or Quackimera Guardian and Emancipators. It does target, but at the same time, it's such a useful card that really is pivotal for a lot of decks to have in order to have some countermeasure against these crazy turn 1 board decks, including Emancipator. But the problem is this card has not had a truly accessible reprint since it first came out, because it was a secret rare at first, then it got short printed in Dual Power, then it got short printed in Dual Overload, and enough is enough. This is kind of got to be the time where it gets that one accessible reprint, kind of like Ghost Ogre did, and then it'll be in like a structure deck as a common finally. But it really needs a reprint. It needs to be much more accessible, and hopefully it finally happens in this gold series. Number 5, Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. So this card debuted in last year's Battles of Legend, and it has not gotten a reprint ever since. It's quite an expensive card too, as it can be used as a pseudo boss monster for certain decks in certain game states, and it's just a pretty useful card to have in kind of that Link 3 toolbox. The problem is that since it's only had this one printing and it was a short printed secret rare, it's always maintained a price well above $50 US. That short printedness, in addition to the fact that it's got the pedigree of being a Blackluster Soldier card, which is both important in terms of game history and the show's history, as DM fans will often tell you, this is a card that more than deserves a reprint slot. Number 4, and here's one of the biggest cards that I think needs to be reprinted. It's seeing so much meta play right now, and it is absolutely tearing things up. I'm just kidding. It's Elemental Hero Aeroneos. For those of you out of the loop, and I gotta imagine that's quite a bit of you because this card is older than your average Yu-Gi-Oh player at this point, Elemental Hero Aeroneos has never gotten a reprint ever since its original Strike and Neos printing. It was an ultra rare and an ultimate rare, and that is literally it. Some say it's because of legal reasons. Others say it's just Konami, you know, it's a meme within Konami or something. I just say, let's be honest, it's not a very good card, but at the same time, maybe there's a legal reason because it seems like a shoo-in as a common in like a legendary collection or something. But regardless, I need one to finish my binder collection, so can we please reprint this? I don't want to have to spend $100 on a card that's a decade and a half old that'll never see any play. Please, 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 please. Now then, if you thought we were done with old cards, well, not quite yet. Number 3, we have Rainbow Neos. Rainbow Neos has seen some play in various decks, as the Neos Fusion engine allows you to use Verte Anaconda in order to spit out this bad boy and then wipe your opponent's board and their graveyard and everything else. Now, with this card, it has a few reprints. It has a super from Legendary Collection GX, a common from the Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and its original Secret Rare and Ghost Rares, of course. However, even the common is like a $10 USD card, and it's just pretty old and not terribly accessible. This card, if they're going to keep Neos Fusion around, which judging by the Neos Fusion getting a rarity update, they will, I feel like, yeah, this card just needs a reprint, needs to be nice and accessible, easy to get. Although bonus points if it was premium gold, because that would look pretty gorgeous on this card. Number 2, Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Now then, this card isn't seeing any meta play. It's barely seeing any casual play. It, however, is one of my favorite synchro monsters in the game. I love this thing's effect. I love how it looks. And honestly, I feel robbed, absolutely robbed. We never got this here in the TCG as an ultimate rare in some way, shape, or form. In the OCG, they have it as an ultimate rare, and it looks spectacular. And the main reason I'd want to see it reprinted here is to have it printed in the premium gold rarity. That way we basically get the next best thing towards an ultimate rare or ghost rare, and that would be to get this card just with that premium gold look. I think it would look absolutely gorgeous, and I want it so bad. Plus it's also here to help offset that Ebon Illusion and Magician I put in earlier. That way you get all your Kaiba and Yugi pandering done. And finally, for our number 1 pick, we have me cheating a bit because this isn't going to be one card, it's going to be multiple cards. So here I have the entirety of the 10th anniversary pack. For those who don't know, the 10th anniversary pack came out, well, 10 years after the card game started here in the TCG, and it featured a few cards that were hand-drawn by Kazuki Takahashi. Now then, with these cards as well, the whole benefit of the pack was that it was one set thing, you never got any variants or anything. However, a little known fact about this, in Canada, the version of it being sold here actually didn't come with Jinzo for some reason. Can't really find a reasoning on why, but this is what I've apparently been told through the grapevine. Regardless, I think these cards, while their original ultra rare printings and the original 10th anniversary packs will retain their value as OG collector's pieces, I think a reprint of them shouldn't be completely dismissed. We just saw last year in the Megatins the entire set of the Kazuki Takahashi Egyptian God cards all get reprinted in gorgeous prismatic secret rares, and I think these could be a good follow-up to that. It's some old school nostalgia, it's a cool collector's item that becomes accessible to so many more people, and it's a way to really push the set for not only the collectors but also the meta players and those that might want to keep some sealed and have it opened way off in the future because there's something to chase after here, something so important and so cool that, you know, it's unique. This, I'm not saying should be totally standard. However, I also wouldn't be against printing certain other jump promos that were done by Kazuki Takahashi in this set or others. However, I think the option should just be on the table, and honestly, it'd be a great way to get more people to have these artworks just to enjoy them. So folks, what did you think of my list? Anything you think I missed? Anything that you want that no one else is talking about? Anything that I picked that's bad and you don't like? Well, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. You have a good day before, during, and after watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.